2 years ago, I finally built my dream coat collection, and one of the main reasons I could do that is because I stopped looking at my coats as only a fashion accessory, and I instead focused on the warmth that they provide. So that's how I identified the 5 essential coats for the fall and winter capsule wardrobe, and once I knew the basics, it was very easy for me to know how many I need in each category based on my lifestyle, preferences, and the weather. I'm gonna start with the thinner coats and then I'm gonna go to the thicker ones at the end. And the first category, I know it's technically not a coat, but I feel a blazer is still very essential outerwear piece for fall or even winter. It depends where you live. And I know for some, blazers are more of an indoor jacket, and I used to view them this way as well. But once I started treating them as an outerwear piece, I started to wear them much more often. And now I actually wear them in the fall, in the spring, and then even in the summer. Now, what kind of blazer you go for, it really depends on your preference and lifestyle, but I personally like both the fitted and the oversized look, so I can really mix and match them to my needs. With a fitted blazer, I will get a more elegant and polished look, and I can easily use it to dress up my casual items like some of my jeans and sneakers. But on the downside, these are usually not the most roomy. That's why I also love my oversized blazer that I stole out of my husband's closet. And this one I can easily layer with all of my thicker jumpers and then also dresses. Plus, I can again dress up my outfits with ease while still retaining that relaxed and effortless look. As for the numbers, in total I have 4 blazers because I realize I can wear them from 6 to 7 months a year, and that's why I allow myself to have a little bit more variety. But I know blazers are not everyone's cup of tea, so I also wanted to give you 2 more options. The first one is a cardigan. Again, I used to see cardigans as only indoor pieces, but once I started looking at them as outerwear, I realized why some of them didn't work for me. That's how I identified that the longer cardigan that replicates the look of my longer coats works really well in the transitional season, and now I have 2 in my collection. And then the second option is of course a leather jacket. This one is personally not my style, but if you love the look, it can be an amazing staple. Just make sure it's not super thin and cropped like mine is, because this one doesn't really give me a lot of warmth. And now, of course, to the full capsule wardrobe staple, the trench coat. I have only one in my collection because based on the weather and my preferences, I can only wear it for 3 months a year and then it just gets too cold. And one thing I want to add here is that I had this coat in my collection for years, but I barely wore it, and then I did something different and I started wearing it with my t-shirts and sleeveless tops, sleeveless turtlenecks, and now I wear it on repeat. This way the coat is a lot more roomy and comfortable, plus I love that I can easily roll up the sleeves for a more relaxed look. As for the style that I went for, I have the classic black Burberry trenchy with black buttons because I love a minimalistic look that I can dress up with my shoes, bags, and accessories. As for the length, even though I love the look of a long trench coat because so many of my coats are really long, you're gonna see, it's nice to have something shorter that I can also wear as a little dress. Plus the length here is perfect to wear with my Ugg boots because with some of my longer coats, those can look a little bit awkward and unflattering. So obviously I love my trench coat, but again, if these are not your style, another option in this category would be a stylish raincoat. I think this one can also do an amazing job of keeping you warm and dry. And now to the wool coats, which is probably my favorite category out of all because this really changed my life. Pretty much before getting the wool coat, I was always buying the regular cheap synthetic coats, hoping they will keep me warm and stylish, but honestly, they cannot compare to the 100% wool coats. These are not only much warmer when I'm outside, which is really important to me, but they also make sure I'm not overheating when I'm inside or if I'm walking for a long time, and they regulate my temperature in a really nice way. That is the main reason why I keep raving about them, because they truly improve the quality of my life, and then also style because as you can see they look incredibly stylish as well. And because I can wear them from 6 to even 7 months a year, I also have a bigger selection, and I have both a lighter ivory color as well as the classic black one. I also went for a longer style here because length is really important when we want to stay warm. And then I also made sure both of them have a belt, because this way I can customize them to my need. I can skip the belt for a more oversized look. I can tie the belt at the back for a fitted long silhouette, or I can tie it around my waist for extra warmth and style. And now, as always, just a little reminder that if you're enjoying this video, that you give it a thumbs up. And then I'm also curious about how many coats you have in your current coat collection and if the number works for you or not. And then we also have to talk about the faux fur coats or teddy coats, teddy bear coats, or any kind of oversized coat really. And the reason these are essential is because when it's really cold outside, we need the room to layer. Plus, these have a really unique texture that can add a special touch to the outfit, especially if you love monochrome outfits. Having a fur or teddy coat in your favorite color can look insanely stylish. And then another upside is that oversized coats are really comfortable. And I call my faux fur coat a wearable blanket because that's exactly how it feels. So on those days when I just feel like I want to get super cozy, this is the coat I will wear. Now, when it comes to the materials, you have a variety of options here. You can go for natural fibers like wool, but even synthetic blends can work really well here. Mine is made out of synthetic materials and it keeps me warmer than my wool coat. But the downside is that I can start overheating if I wear it inside for too long or if I'm walking for a long time. So of course, pick the materials that match your lifestyle best. As for the numbers, because this one is really warm, I can usually wear it for only 4 months a year, and that is why I have only one in my collection at the moment. And then we also have to talk about the proper winter puffer coat, because this one is an essential we cannot skip if we live somewhere where it's below zero. And I cannot believe it took me this long to have this one in my collection, because when I was younger, I used to only wear puffer jackets that came down to my waist. But now that I have a really long puffer coat, my life is absolutely changed and I almost never feel cold in the winter. With other categories, you can really play with the length based on your preference. But when it comes to the proper winter coat, we have to prioritize warmth before everything else, and having a super long coat will get us exactly that. But of course, we don't want just a warm coat, we also want to look great, so here are 3 extra tips I like to follow. First one is to go for a brand that specializes in coats, because these are usually much better quality and will last you for a really long time. Second, try to avoid very obvious sporty details at all costs, because unfortunately a lot of high quality brands often include them and they are just a distraction when you want to look super put together. So instead, go for a more minimal look so you can have a blank canvas you can accessorize to your needs. And lastly, always go for a coat with a hood so you will be protected from the rain, wind and snow. And bonus points if the hood is removable, because then you can easily customize your coat even more and you can dress it up or down as you wish. But if a puffer coat is not really needed where you live, you can also add a puffer vest with a hood to your collection so you can make your wool coats a little bit warmer. Plus, because you have a hood now, you will also be protected from the rain and the wind, because a lot of the wool coats simply don't come with the hood. And again, if you want to look super stylish and maximize your wear, go for a vest in a monochrome neutral color without obvious sporty details. As for the numbers, because I can only wear my puffer winter coat 3 months a year, 1 is more than enough for me. And for my puffer vest, I also only have 1 at the moment, but maybe I'm gonna add another one in the future. And now, if you want even more style inspiration, I will link another video that you can watch next with my entire full capsule wardrobe. But this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you next time.